Welcome to RetroLogic, episode 87. Why is 87 hard to say? It's not. I just couldn't say it just then. I'm Dan Caporello here with John Cummins, who you can hear typing in the background, who has the loudest keyboard on earth. Actually, John's keyboard is our third guest this week because we don't have Sam Wagers with us. We are Samless. We have lost our wagers.
He's just still in the ground, man.
Oh, because he's the mole. Oh, got it.
Because he's the mole.
I was like, is he dead? What happened? Did you kill him?
No, man. He's burrowing somewhere. I think that's what moles do.
Yeah, that's true. Third strongest.
Or eating grubs or something.
But RetroLogic isn't just a podcast. It's a whole community of retro gamers. You can visit retrologic.games for our Discord link, fair trade merch, blog post written by our very own Sam Wagers, who would tell you all about it if he was here, and dive into our family of podcasts, including Retro Group. Just burped. This show is going to be great. A music history podcast and On Topic Retro, a podcast dedicated to one video game per episode, hosted by your boy John Cummins. I apologize for saying your boy. That out of the way, John, what's going on with On Topic Retro? We haven't had an episode in a while of this show. So tell the people what's going on with that show.
Okay. So let's see. I recently did a microsode on, what game was that I did?
Tetris 4.
No, it wasn't Tetris.
The Revenge of the Tetramonies.
Why is my mind blank? Anyway, we did Sam and I did the Retro Rewind episode for Eliminator Boat Duel. That was that's the most recent one. And then I did my microsode on another game that I don't know what the name of it is.
It was great. Just go listen to it. You know what? It's a mystery. Don't tell them what it is. It's gonna ruin the surprise.
That's exactly, yeah. Alleyway. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I just remembered.
Yeah. Nailed it.
And
Sam is streaming on Mondays. I don't know what he's streaming, but he was going through Mother. Did he do? Oh, he's doing Mega Man.
He finished Mother, and then now he's doing Mega Man Battle Network.
Battle Network games, which the collection of that's coming out soon. So it's a good chance to hop in and see what that game's all about. Nice little turn-based RPG / like card battler / like arena battler type thing. There's a lot going on there. I like them. But John, let's do our icebreaker. It's been a while. We did 4 weeks and no show because I was on vacation. So you must have bought stuff. You had to have.
I think I bought some more things that I didn't have listed here, but I forgot that I've bought them. I've been kind of slowing down a little bit, as I talked about, a few episodes ago.
It's a good thing.
I've been trying to put some more meaning into what I buy, unless it's just an accidental, run into something buy like this week was. I was at a yard sale and I found a copy of Resident Evil Zero. This yard sale was in walking distance, so that's the only reason I even went this weekend. It was like down the road. So they had this copy of Resident Evil Zero. I just cracked open the case. It's a 2-disc game, so I said 2 discs are present. There's a manual. I close it. I asked the guy how much. He says, I'll take that. I'll take $1 for that. So I said, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
So then I get home. Yeah. So then I get home. I open it back up. I'm getting ready to test the discs out because this is, probably going to be a giveaway at some point in the community. So I'm going through it. I grab the discs. I look at the second disc, and I don't have disc 1 of the game. Instead, I have a copy of FZero GX for the GameCube in the second disc slot.
I mean, you could do worse than FZero GX.
Yes.
Wow.
I ended up testing FZero GX. It works fine. I can't test the Resident Evil game because I only have disc 2.
You can't just pop it in and see if it works. I mean, it'll spin and play, right?
Yeah, I guess it will. But if you don't have any save data, I don't know how far I could test it.
Well, yeah, maybe you can't get into the game, but usually with GameCube, if it boots, then you're good. Usually,
Yeah.
unless there's some easily seen physical damage to it or something.
Yeah. But so anyway, I hop on eBay and found a single disc, version, copy of disc 1.
Yeah.
For really cheap. I think it was like $5.
Boom.
So that's, yeah. And I already own it. So this is definitely going to be like a complete in-box giveaway at some point.
That's a sweet free stuff Friday right there.
That's right. It's going to be an awesome one. So yeah, got those 2 games for $1. So I guess technically like $6 now.
I'd buy that for $1.
That's right. So then that same day, later in the afternoon, we're on the opposite side of town doing something, and there's a game store on that side too. So I don't get to frequent this one as much. So I hopped in there really quick. And the first thing I do is I always go look at the handheld games. They always have like Game Boy, Game Gear, Atari Lynx, just different stuff in the front and a case. And when I get in there, they got a whole stack of complete in box Game Boy games, Game Boy Color games stacked up in the case. You can't see the prices. So I was like, hey, I want to see that stack. So he hands me the stack and I'm just kind of flipping through. And in the stack, there is a copy of Zen Intergalactic Ninja. If you don't know what this game is, it's based on a comic book. It's not a super great game, but it's made by Konami. So it's definitely a neat one. I actually stumbled upon a different copy of this game that was loose in the same store about a year ago. So I already own this game. And they had like $50 on this thing. And I was like, wait, I think this one's like a higher dollar game. So I look it up and it's like a $300 game.
Goodness.
For $50. Yeah.
What are they doing?
I don't think they update the pricing on their handheld stuff as often as they do the rest. Which is kind of crazy because Game Boy's kind of exploding here lately. Like some of the more expensive games. So I'm weeding through the stack. I also pick up Donkey Kong Land, which oddly enough is this month's Retro Rewind.
To Donkey Kong. Cheers.
Yes. To celebrate this at some point, maybe at the end of the month, I'll give away my extra copy of that as well, because I already own a copy of that too.
Yes. Then they can play it after they listen to the episode and hear us gush about it.
And enjoy it. And it's got a brand new save battery because I just replaced it myself not too long ago. And then that game was, I think, like $35 complete in box at that store, which it goes for like $70-$80. So that one wasn't as crazy of a deal.
Still crazy.
And then the last game in the stack that I purchased was Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the Game Boy, which this game has like a weird, I might end up doing an episode on this game, but just a quick note. This is a Capcom published game, published and developed, I believe. And then later in its life was re-released by Sunsoft.
Okay.
So your copy, same exact game. Same exact box art. Just the very top of the box art has the red logo, and one of them says Capcom, the other one says Sunsoft, and it just depends on what year you bought yours is what version you got. So mine is a Sunsoft copy. It's also complete in box, and I bought this for $15, and this one's going to stay in the collection. It's
ridiculous.
Like I said, I'm actually kind of excited. I've seen a little bit about this to play it, so it'll definitely make a microsode at some point. But also in that stack was like a complete in box Super Mario Land 3, but it was properly priced. It was like $150. And then also a copy of Metroid 2. This one was probably about half off, but it was still $200, and I just got done spending $100. I really wasn't looking to throw down another $200.
That's crazy.
It's about almost a $400 game for $200.
Yeah, dude. Metroid 2 shot up.
Yeah, so that's one that I really contemplated, but at the end of the day, I was like, I already own this. It's not complete in box, but I really don't feel like throwing down $200 for it either. Mm-hmm. So the other ones were more like, pretty good steals. I think Who Framed Roger Rabbit goes for like $100 $100,
Oh,
maybe
crazy.
115. So yeah, that was my crazy pickups for the other day. Like just randomly, I hadn't picked up anything in a while, retro wise.
Bananas.
But then this last week, I also picked up the Cowabunga collection, which I guess is kind of retro in a way.
Mine's sitting in my mailbox. I just haven't gone to go get it yet.
I haven't played mine. I have it. I scoured the city for it when it released, but still haven't played it.
I'm gonna
the same way I also
through Turtles in Time, and then I'm gonna play
3.
And then I'm gonna play the Genesis one.
Oh yeah, Hyperstone Heist.
Yeah, Splatoon 3. I love
Splatoon. I grabbed Splatoon 3. I have yet to play Splatoon 3 either.
Dude, I'm surprised you bought Splatoon 3. Is that not your jam totally?
I do. I like Splatoon. I just don't stay with it as long as a lot of people in our community do. It's usually like a good month or two for me, and then I'm out.
Oh man!
And then my kids play them, so they got first dibs.
Splatoon's so good.
Splatoon is good. I always enjoy the time that I do put into it. It's just that something else. I never play anything for the long haul.
Right.
Something else always catches my eye, and I hop on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my kids are loving it. They're playing through. I think one of my kids is already through the single player mode. I don't know how long it is. But,
it's not super long, but
they're
still
telling me they already completed
impressive.
it. So
yeah, I love that so far.
And the main reason why I haven't played either one of those yet is because I put 60 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and finished it last week.
Right.
and I've also been playing Donkey Kong Land on the side for Retro Rewind, trying to finish that up. And then I think it was yesterday, I fired up Mario vs. Rabbids, trying to do another playthrough of that game before the new one comes out. Pretty excited for that. And then the last thing I have is, as mentioned, I dropped a mention in the community. I pre-ordered a Retroid Pocket 3 handheld emulation device. I'm going to give this one a go. I kind of picked this up to give a somewhat of a review for you, because I know you're looking for something handheld that can play certain things. So I figured I'd pick one up and see how easy it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like this one hit like a good price point that I feel like would be something that, it's not too expensive for, to keep people out of, but, still powerful enough at its price range that can play, the majority of things that I think that you would want to play. Like it would definitely play all in 64, no problem.
GameCube would be great. That'd be like the best.
That's the one. Like I've heard mixed reviews on whether like it plays some GameCube fairly well and then struggles with some other ones. It plays a Dreamcast.
Odin, how much was the Retro Pocket 3?
It's $140.
Okay. That's like half or less of the price of the Odin, which can very comfortably do GameCube. But also it's $300+. So
exactly. And I kind of looked at it, and even to get the Odin that I wanted was going to be closer to like $400.
Oh, with the dock and everything, which I've heard mixed reviews about the dock itself, which kind of turned me off a little bit. So,
I mean, there's some other options out there too, but a lot of them, whenever I started digging into like prices, I really I'm not really looking for something that's going to play. A lot of these are more expensive because they're also playing some like newer things that are, PC based or like stuff you buy from Steam. And I'm not really looking for that because I get most of my indie games and things like that from other consoles or my PC itself.
And like, you don't need it to run Windows, No.
And that's kind of like where the breaking point was for me. So I kind of jotted down everything that I knew that I would want to play. And, I'm going to look and see what pushing the limits of this device is. Maybe I have to turn the graphic fidelity down a little bit to where, it'll play them more smoothly. Maybe they don't have to look as good. Like, some of the stuff that I want to play in GameCube, like Paper Mario, I don't think is going to be too taxing to play. Just some things like that, or Gotcha Force. I definitely want to probably try to emulate that because I don't want to buy it. I've already bought it.
Yes,
partially.
I'll send it to you if you want to borrow it.
Oh no, I have already played some of it on my computer. I just wanted a way to emulate it in handheld because that's
so good.
It has like a sleep system sort similar to the Switch, where you can, it actually is more like a phone. Like it's an Android device, so you can basically just hit a button and put it to sleep, just like your phone. So supposedly it's pretty dang good for what it is, and it's also supposed to be fairly good for streaming, using like GeForce Now and like mirroring your PS products and streaming Xbox cloud service. So it's powerful enough to do those things as well. I'm not as interested in those, but for somebody that's looking for like an all-around device that can do handle some of the older emulation stuff plus do some of the things that newer devices do, this might be like a good mix. And like I said, $140 is pretty hard to beat for a handheld that's got a 5-inch nice LCD screen that, and runs an Android back end that can handle most things. So
nice.
Definitely something I'm interested in, and we'll keep everyone posted as I think I'm still like a couple, maybe 2 or 3 weeks out before mine ships, but it's in pre-order status right now. So anybody that wants to hop on, now's the time to do it. There's plenty of other really good reviews out there for it. People already have their hands on them. But if you want to wait till you hear what I have to say, that's fine as well.
Will do. Is that all? Is that all for you?
That's all I got.
Okay, sweet. Good. Well, I was on vacation last week for a little while. It was fun. Had a great time with the fam. Went to the beach lots. Came back feeling refreshed. There's a little like weird bookstore thing in the basement of a shopping center that I go to, which is pretty much the only place that I've ever seen on Cape Cod that sells retro video games that I can find. And it's this little tiny corner, and it's always mixed. It's always like some random PlayStation games, some random like NES games, whatever. And in his small selection, nothing was really striking my fancy. He had one of the old rare Conker's Bad Fur Day figures. And I just didn't like the price. Yeah, and I if it was a little cheaper, I probably would have gotten it, but I didn't like the price. He had a Vita for like $100.
Man.
And I thought about that. Yeah, I know. And I thought about it for a second, but I was like, I'm never going to play this thing.
Which version was it? Was it the
Wi-Fi?
Was it the OLED or?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I have no idea of knowing. I don't know.
You're not a PlayStation guy.
No,
so
I'm not. And it's cool. Like it's a very comfortable device. And I thought about it for a second, but there's just nothing on that thing that I'm ever going to want to play. Like it just doesn't.
I'm still loosely on the lookout for one. If I found one for $100, if I found one for $100, I probably would have bought it. But most of the ones I see they're usually more than like around the $200 range, $175.
Because he's in the basement, I don't get signal down there, so I probably would have just texted somebody. But I couldn't.
You're good, man.
But what I did walk out of there with was the Prima guide for Majora's Mask.
Sweet,
in really good condition. So I was like,
I don't have that one.
Sweet. Yeah, it was $15, which is about half what it's going for right now. So I was like, yeah, that's great. I need a guide for that game anyway, so it's double whammy. I'm actually going to use it and not just be a cool thing. That was it. That was the only thing I got there because I was like, I didn't have anything else I wanted. But I did get some interesting stuff mailed to me that I bought. It wasn't just mailed to me. I bought them because I was browsing Mercari. And I had money because I was on vacation, and I was like, why not? I'll buy some stuff. And then just sat in my mailbox for a week while I was on Cape Cod. One of them is Sonic Battle for the Game Boy Advance, which came highly recommended from a few people in the community, including my brother. Then there was Sonic 3 for the Game Boy Advance, Sonic Advance 3 for the Game Boy Advance, because I've been on a Sonic Advance kick lately, trying to get all those. I am only missing the first one now, which for some reason it's hard to get. I ordered.
Keep my eyes out.
Yeah, I ordered a copy of the Sin and Punishment game for the Wii, because that's something that I should own. There it is. I started down the road of collecting different colored N64 controllers, which is something something I thought about in the past.
Which ones are you missing?
Like all of them. The only ones I had were like gray and dark gray and atomic purple. That was it. And those are like the most normal, like basic controller colors you could get. So then I ordered a green one and I ordered a red one. Green because it's my favorite color, red because it was cheap. And, I want to try to get all of them, hopefully in like pretty good condition. The sticks on the ones I bought are like okay, like they're serviceable. But
you can replace those.
Yeah, you can replace them and it's fine. I have controllers with really good sticks that I can use to actually play the games. But I just love all the different colors. It would be cool to get some of the fantastic colors, but they're much pricier. And I would just have to find a really good deal on one to bother.
I don't hardly ever see the fantastic stuff. I mean, if I do, it's usually jungle green.
Yeah, it's always
which is
great.
like I have 4 of those already for my jungle green N64.
And I would love the neon green one. That one was like a Toys R Us exclusive or something, like the super bright neon green yellow.
Yep.
I'd love one of those. I think those kind of shot up too. So, but yeah, right now I'm just focusing on the. You mean like really, really dark gray?
Oh, no, they have a black one that was part of just like the regular series, wasn't it?
There's the normal gray, and then there's like almost black, very, very, very dark gray.
Well,
like
I think they called it black.
Okay, well, I have that. I have one of those.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that. I think I'm missing that one and blue. Yeah, I'm either missing regular green or blue, and the black one.
The black one should be easy if I.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. I only buy them whenever I see them at the local because they'll have them all day for like $20, like OEM ones.
Yeah. That's about what I'm paying plus shipping, so I'm not mad about it. You
have to give me a list of what colors you need, and I'll keep an eye out. I see some periodically.
Everything but blue,
purple, and
red and blue. I mean, I have all the ones that like came with the consoles. I have the jungle green. I have the atomic purple, the normal gray, and the black. I have all those. And the colored ones, I only have red and green. So any other ones you see, hit me up.
Yeah. I have a yellow.
I still need yellow and blue and whatever else there is. And if you see any atomics, I mean,
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'll keep my eyes posted. I'm not looking to get all the atomic ones because I only have the green system, but
the fantastic.
Fantastic.
That's it for me. Finally, it feels good to be actually buying games again. I'm at the Elite Four. I'm at the Elite Four in Pokemon Fire Red, and it's really hard because I kind of took a weird route with which Pokemon I chose. I have like a Raichu and a Hypno and stuff. It's weird. It got weird.
Challenging.
And once I get past Ice, it's easier, but I'm heavy on Raichu with the Ice gym leader because most of her Pokemon are also water types. So, wow. Anywho, let's play some 2-player Price is Retro, John.
We haven't done this in a while.
I know. If this is your first time playing The Price is Retro, this is how we play. I'm going to list off 4 or 5 games, and everyone else has to guess how much the games are worth in total. Whoever guesses the closest to whoever guesses the closest wins that round. And the next person lists off their games. Everyone Everyone brought a list of games, and I wrote this. Why can't I read it? And everyone guesses on each other's lists. At the end of the game, whoever won the most rounds wins the game, but look out for Poltergeist. He guesses 300 on each list, and if he wins the game, I have to give away a sticker. He's gonna go away at the after the finale, season finale.
That's right.
Yeah. So I wonder who's gonna show up in their midst. Could be a robot. Could be a pirate.
Say bye to Poltergeist.
Maybe a
to do a
ninja.
farewell show.
Maybe a dino. Maybe we'll get Leonard up in here. The dinosaur, totally dinosaur. Whatever he's called, literally dinosaur. It's just you and me. You want to go first?
Sure. Why not?
Why not?
All right. So I just have a list here. There is not really a theme, but there is where I got them is unique. So first game on my list is Road Trip Shifting Gears for the Game Boy Advance, complete in box.
I don't know what that is.
It's a racing game.
Well, obviously, I don't know what it is. Go.
The second game is Dome Racers for the GBA, complete in box.
Also don't know what that is. Go.
Also a racing game. The third game is Speed Freaks for the PS1, complete in box.
That one is a dating sim, right?
Yes.
You date cars.
The last game is Looney Tunes Marvin Strikes Back for the Game Boy Color, complete in box.
What are you talking about?
You should know what all these games are because they came from the Discord.
No, okay. Well, there it is. I'm gonna guess $260.
Alrighty. Let's see here. 260. And the total of my lot is $208.69.
It's pretty close. Oh, we have to do old school rules because it's just you and me. Whoever's closest.
Wait, hold on a minute. I put that in the wrong one. You said 260.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, whoever's closest.
Yeah, because there's only two of us.
Yeah, so these games are all from the Retro Gaming chat channel on Discord. These are all games that Electric Mastros has been throwing up in there.
Oh, man.
And everyone's enjoying.
Ridiculous. It's so funny. I love his hauls. All right. I've got a list, and they are all Banjo-Kazooie games. Here we go. Banjo Pilot for the Game Boy Advance, loose.
Okay.
Banjo-Kazooie Grunty's Revenge for the Game Boy Advance, loose. Banjo-Tooie for the N64, loose. And Banjo-Kazooie for the N64, also loose. We need a number, John.
Let's do $160.
Actual retail price is $127.05. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you just won yourself a round of Price is Retro.
I did. I was off by $32.95, and you're off by $51.31. You want to do the rundown?
Yeah. Banjo Pilot is worth $37.98. Banjo Kazooie Krusty's Revenge. Grunty's Revenge. Krusty the Clown. Grunty's Revenge for the Game Boy Advance is $24.58. Banjo-Tooie is $34.48, and Banjo-Kazooie is $30.01. I'm shocked Banjo Pilot's that much. I think I sold a copy in 2016, 2017 or 18 for like $10.
$5.
Maybe. Nothing. That's $40.
I knew that was the one that was the most expensive, but I think I overpriced everything by about $5-10.
Crazy. All right. Ambassador has made us a list. It's called Guess That Game. And this theme is Sega Gems. So we're going to go through and see if we can guess that game. All right. Here's the first description. Yelling in a cave plus clicking aromatic mammal. Sega Gems.
Yelling in a cave.
Yelling in a cave. Echo the dolphin.
The dolphin. That's right.
Got it. And the answer is Echo the Dolphin. I'm not going to do the theme song the whole time. Question number 2. Okay, letter A and letter U. Chopping tool. AU chopping tool. Battle axe? What does AU mean?
No, wait, hold on. What's golden axe? It's AU's the periodic table. The letters for gold.
Tricky. It is golden axe. Yep. Answer is golden axe. Tricky. All right. Number 3. Not gonna die plus victors. Mortal Kombat? Not gonna die. What? Not gonna die plus victors is Mortal Kombat.
No, immortal. Not gonna die.
Okay. Eternal Champions.
Eternal Champions, yes. Yeah, I was gonna say Mortal Kombat would be the opposite. Like you're gonna die.
Did they do that on purpose for Eternal Champions? They were like,
I think
we're
so.
not mortal, we're eternal. Oh my god, that's so stupid. All right, number 4. Your friend might be fast, but I can blank him.
What?
Beat? Is Beat the name of a Sega game? Beat? Beats?
Your friend might be fast. So is that Sonic?
Outrun. It's Outrun.
Oh, Outrun.
It's totally Outrun. That's great. All right, number 5. A doctorate graduate's angry protein option contraption.
That's going to be the Mean Bean Machine.
Oh my gosh.
Dr.
Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Protein contraption.
Look, at some point while reading that, I was like, this is just a list of words. This doesn't mean anything. Doctorate graduate's angry protein option contraption. That's somebody's like winning Scrabble board. Like that's nothing to do. They're so stupid. All right. We got there though. Number 6. Public roads of excessive rancor.
Public roads? Streets of Rage.
Rage? What is rancor a word for angry?
Yeah, probably.
Rancor is a Star Wars character monster. Number 7. Fantastical gas ball connected to the internet.
Fantastical.
Sun gas ball.
Oh, no, it's Phantasy Star Online.
Phantasy Star Online. Got it. All right.
Fantastical.
Fantastical. I mean, Number 8. Not rows, but columns.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely columns.
Not my favorite.
All right, here we go. Number 9. The bone above the ankle plus the opposite of yes plus hive-dwelling insect. One word.
One word?
Yeah. Something, no. Hive-dwelling. Bee? Hive-dwelling insect? Hornet? No. Wasp? Something, no.
It's a hive-dwelling insect? What was the clue again?
Yeah. The bone above the ankle plus the opposite of yes, plus hive-dwelling insect. And it's one word.
Oh, shinobi. Shinobi. Shin, your shin.
Jesus.
No, and B.
That's, oh my God. That's so stupid.
I thought he was looking for like the, the medical term for the bone.
Nobi.
I was like, I'm not the person for that.
You're oh my, above the ankle. It's like the whole body. All right. Number 10. If your man cave had only graphic novels, you would call it the Comic Zone. Boom, Comic Zone. Yeah, buddy. Good job, Ambassador. That was a pretty good
10
one.
10 out of 10.
It was entertaining, to say the least. We have one more game from Liam. Liam sends us a Spot the Fake. Let me find it real quick. Where is he? There he is. All right, Spot the Fake. Not the real, Spot the Fake. Here's the first one. Oh, you know what? You're the only one who can guess this because I have to see the answer. Oh, no, I guess I can guess too. No, I can guess too because he blocked the answer. All right, here are the games. Here's which one of these is fake. The Amazon Trail for PC, the Oregon Trail for 3DS, the Oregon Trail 2 for PC, the Oregon Trail for the PC, the Silk Road Trail for PC.
Silk Road Trail.
You sure?
I'm just throwing it out there. It's the only one that doesn't sound right.
I believe you. Let's see. Silk Road Trail. Yep. All right. Okay. Thank you, Liam. No, I love you. Thank you. That was interesting. That was the thing. Appreciate it.
The Oregon Trail too.
Yeah, that's it. And I know everybody's super anxious to get to our interview today with.
We got a trivia card though first. You're on your own.
I'm just stalling because everybody's so anxious to get to it. But you can go ahead and read the trivia card that I'm going to answer correctly because I know stuff.
We'll see how well you do on your own.
I know stuff.
And what year did Riot Games first release their popular video game League of Legends?
What year?
What year?
Gosh. It's a MOBA, right?
Yep.
Okay.
MOBA.
I can do this. All right. So Pokemon Go is 2016. Were MOBAs a thing? I mean, the Pokemon MOBA just came out, so that's not even a factor. Ooh, ow. Gosh, I punched my microphone.
That sounded like a sound effect from a movie, like a bad one.
Sorry. Jeez. Okay, I'm just going to throw a guess out there. I'm going to say 2014 because it was probably like released but not popular yet.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That is incorrect. The year is 2009.
Dude.
It's pretty early.
That's super early. 2009? We had a MOBA?
Yep. That's right.
That's crazy.
I have faith in you on this next one. The Umbrella Corporation is a pharmaceutical company that is the center of what video game
Resident
series?
Evil.
There you go. Boom. You got 1 for 1.
Resident Evil.
Or 1 for 2.
Okay, well, speaking of things that aren't evil, coming up in just a second, we have an awesome interview with Ozana, who is the COO of Epilogue, who makes the amazing Game Boy operator, which is like one of my favorite little retro gaming devices ever. So we'll be right back with Ozana from Epilogue. welcome back. We are here. It's our show topic, and it's the show topic that everybody has been waiting for, and we've been keeping you waiting long enough. So we're just going to dive right into it. With us now, we have Ozana from Epilogue, who is the COO, or as she likes to say, she's in charge of operations. She gets things going. And we're just going to ask her a bunch of questions about about Epilogue and the Game Boy operator and what's coming, and we're going to have a great little conversation. Ozana, why don't you just introduce yourself, tell everyone, where you're from and what you do at Epilogue, and whatever else you want to say.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ozana, and I've been working on Epilogue since 2019, but the whole retro gaming thing started back in 2017, actually. That's when we first started working on retro gaming products. And I would say in the team, I'm in charge of coordinating everyone, first of all. Every good team needs a manager that takes care of things. So that's my main role. And I guess if you've ever sent a message to us on social media, I've been the one to reply or a comment as well. Or initially, I was also doing support, but now I have a colleague taking care of that. And that's mostly what I do at Epilogue. My favorite part of working here is, of course, interacting with the community. Yeah, that's why I was happy that you invited me as well. And we're based in Bucharest, Romania. I've seen more people online thinking that we're maybe from the US or somewhere in Western Europe, but no, we're all from Romania and living in Bucharest at the moment.
Nice.
Awesome. So it sounds like you guys have kind of a small team over there. So if you're doing the COO duties and social media, how many people do you have on your team at Epilogue?
Our core team is made up of 5 people. And then whenever we have assembly cycles, we work with an assembly line here in Bucharest of about, anywhere between 12 to 15 people. And then, of course, you have different services, such as, an accounting team we work with, or legal team. And that's mainly it. But I would say the core team is 5 people.
Wow.
Yeah, I think what helped us actually get good results was the fact that our developer is just a genius with programming, and he automated a lot of processes. So normally for the amount of work we do, it would require maybe like a 10-person team, at least 10-person team. And, we make it work with 5.
Yeah, I was going to say
programming.
It's surprising to hear how small the team is, just having, seen the website and purchased the product and experienced what it is. It seems like something that I would have bought from like Apple or Google or something. It's very, very sleek from top to bottom. So that's really surprising.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's so nice to hear. Thank you. Yeah. That's what we were going for since we started. We said, first of all, we want something that we want to use as well. We're very passionate about retro gaming, and actually the GB operator started because back in 2018, I think, we had this friend that is very passionate about retro gaming, and his birthday was coming up. We had no idea what to get him as a gift, because sometimes what do you buy the person that has everything? I think we've all asked ourselves this at one point. So his birthday was coming up, and the founder of Epilogue, the developer, actually decided to make him a custom game, and write it on a rewritable cartridge and make like a personalized birthday wish. But the writers on the market at that point either wouldn't arrive in time or weren't the right fit, like something was missing. And this basically sparked the whole thing with the Epilogue and the GB operator, because we needed a device to write a custom game and didn't think anything fit our needs at the time. So we just made one.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's so funny, because it could have been, it's funny that that's how it became Game Boy. Like it could have been Super Nintendo or NES or anything, but honestly, I'm so glad you guys went Game Boy, because there's very few great ways to play a Game Boy on a big screen, you know?
Yeah.
So the product is pretty perfect for that.
Yeah, I've learned about the attachment for the SNES. I'm not sure what it's called, but you put the Game Boy game inside and then play on the SNES, or you have like the GameCube, I think. It was a bit too complicated.
Well, it's also very expensive now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that was as well. We took that into account, when deciding on the price and everything. We just wanted to keep it as affordable as possible for everyone, while, of course, at the same time, covering our costs, But I hope, from the amount of people that have written me after buying the product, I can see that the price point is quite okay. I mean, everyone seems satisfied with it, especially when compared with the other options on the market, like buying attachments or something, or even the original console.
Yeah. You guys are very well priced. You can't, at least here in the States, you can't touch a Game Boy, even it's working on the kind of level that, you'd have to buy a Game Boy Advance in order to play all the games that the operator can play. So,
yeah, I've actually looked at like game prices, over the past 2 years have gone up incredibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a big topic here.
Yeah, I saw this photo on Reddit of a Pokemon Crystal game in a retro shop in the US, and it was over $200. I was just shocked, absolutely shocked. Just one game.
So do you guys see, similar trends over there on retro gaming? Are the prices spiking and are things becoming harder to find?
I wouldn't say harder to find. I mean, if you use, let's say, the European version of eBay, you can find games. So the supply isn't necessarily scarce or anything, but the prices have gone up here as well. In Romania, unfortunately, the retro gaming culture is not very well developed, because in the 90s, we know when the Game Boy started coming out and everything, Romania had just gotten out of communism. So we didn't have access to that. Actually, from my team, I'm the only one that got into retro gaming a bit later in life. I mean, after 25 years old, just because when I was growing up here in a small town, we didn't have access to any of it. I think, as opposed to maybe how it was in the US or Western Europe. No.
That's really interesting. So how did you, I guess the main question then is like, what got you into retro gaming? Since it really wasn't part of the culture, you picked it up somewhere. How did you get into it?
After I met our founder, the developer I mentioned before, he actually grew up in Spain in the 90s.
Okay.
And had his own collection. Like, he started with Game Boy. His favorite game was Pokemon Yellow, but the Spanish version. So after we met, we got into talking, and I learned of his collection, and it was very interesting. It was something I hadn't seen before. It was just a shock. Like, everything was so colorful, and the music is wonderful. In retro games especially. So. That's how it started. And then I started going online and looking at gameplays, I guess, videos and stuff. I didn't have my own until a while later, I think a couple of years later. But I lived in the Netherlands for a little while. And while I was there, Nintendo released the 3DS, but the Pikachu version. The one that's yellow and shaped like Pikachu. Yeah, that was the first one I ever got, like my first console ever, which I guess is rare to hear, because most people I talk to in the community say, "Oh, I've had my console since the 90s. I have the original cartridges since then." And yeah, that's how I found out, actually, from meeting him and seeing his collection, and he's very proud of it.
Awesome.
That's pretty commonplace. I mean, we like to show off our collections in our community as well, and support each other on our collections and collecting habits and everything.
Yeah. I love seeing photos of people that have their collection, and then the GB operator somewhere small in the photo. They keep it on the desk, or they have a setup next to a big screen. It's just something I'm very proud of now. I never expected it. So when you start out with just an idea, you never know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah, I mean, I know I keep mine handy. It's with me. It's on my computer desk, and I use it for, recording things. Like anytime that I'm playing a game that I'm going to need footage for, it goes, or even just, whenever I'm playing something haven't played in a while, that's usually my go-to because, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and small screens are not my friend. So that helps me out tremendously.
I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, someone actually wrote me an email a while ago. They said they were, unfortunately, in the process of being declared legally blind. Just slowly getting there. And they wanted a GB operator just because it helps them, since it shows the image very clearly on a bigger screen.
Yeah, I mean, it does wonders. Like I said, I enjoy my original handhelds for what they are. Like, I'm nostalgic for them, but in all reality, when it comes down to it, it's definitely a lot harder for me to play on those things nowadays versus playing on a big screen.
Well, and you guys are doing a lot for preservation, which is
try to.
super important to me personally and to the community. Because, gosh, like, you mentioned Pokemon earlier, and I can't, I can't even imagine where all the Pokemon are now that I caught throughout my life, all the cartridges that I used to have. And the Game Boy operator allows you to, upload your save file and then reapply it to another cartridge, or you can take your battery out to replace it so that it saves, and then load your save file back in. It saves all your Pokemon, and that's like so valuable and so easy to do. You guys just made it just so simple, which I really appreciate. So when you guys were developing, like, what features do we want in this product we're going to make? How did you decide those things? And were there any ideas that kind of were left on the cutting room floor?
We had to start with the main thing, which is the ability to back up your saves. That's one of the most common complaints, really. It's been about 20, 30 years since I got my game. The battery is maybe going to die out any day now. So there was this sense of urgency. Okay, what should be the first thing available when we launch? Let's make it, the ability to get your game and your save file off the cartridge and to your computer, because then you can just simply replace the battery without risking, losing your save file. So that was the starting point, so to speak. And then at one point, we also decided to integrate the emulator within the app, because we thought, instead of having to download another emulator of the internet, let's just make it, simple and accessible and have everything in one place. So kind of like a one-stop shop, that's how features are getting added. And of course, there were a lot of ideas that either got scrapped or just haven't been made yet. Yeah. For example, on our we have a support platform. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. It's just support.epilogue.co. And there we wrote our roadmap. The roadmap is basically a list of features we would love to add at some point, And out of what was initially on the list, we've already added a bunch in the past few updates. So ideas generally don't get eliminated entirely. They just go into the roadmap. And in the future, whenever we have time to research and develop a specific feature, we'll focus on that. And until then, we generally prioritize based on requests from the community. As I said, since I'm in charge of social media, I see a lot of messages every day, and people are like, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. So whatever is most popular and most requested.
We asked our community when we knew you were going to have you on, and they came back with probably two things that you hear all the time, which are, hey, can my Game Boy camera work like a regular game, and gyro support for games like WarioWare Twisted or Yoshi's Topsy Turvy and stuff like that. And I'm sure you get that all the time.
Especially the Game Boy camera one. I mean, we've already started work on this feature, and we got to the point where, within the development app, not the public one, obviously, we could get image of the camera. So, and have it show up into the operator app. So that was great. But right now we have to focus on other features. So basically we got to that point, and then it's a little bit on the back burner until we release the next update, version 0.9, which is going to be like a major one.
Awesome.
So the support for Game Boy camera, first of all, it is doable. And at this point, it's just a matter of, getting the bigger features out first, and then we're going back to work on that one. So the developer already started. He made some great progress. We were actually shocked, what could be achieved. But
once I, because I'm not super technically minded, but once I realized that, I'm not actually playing the game off the cartridge. You're ROM and I'm playing an emulator, then that made sense. Oh, okay. It's not going to read the camera because it's not reading the cartridge. It's just dumping the ROM. Also, thank you for adding support to download the pictures too. That's like so awesome. It's like so necessary. Yeah.
And it's a simple process too. I mean, you just connect your camera, you go to the Photos tab. We made a special tab just for it. And there are your photos. You just click download, you select the folder, and that's it. And this was something
tiny little photos.
Tiny. The 16 kilopixel. I remember when we prepared the website, we actually researched and converted, the file size to what it would be in a modern measurement, like the kilopixel. So ever since the beginning, since we launched actually this part with getting photos off your camera with just 2 clicks, it was available to everyone. Because I still get people asking me, why will you ever add support for Game Boy camera? So, support for getting your photos is already there and has been since the beginning. But support for the Game Boy camera, just getting the live feed from it as you would on an original console, it's something we are working on. And I've already seen progress on this, so I'm very happy about it. It's just that we need more time to properly make it. I think we're the kind that like to develop slowly, I guess. I mean, we don't want to put something out unless we're 100% satisfied with the results. And that requires a lot of testing. And, as I said before, the team is not that large, it's not like we have 15 developers working on this. So it takes time, but fortunately people have been mostly understanding about it.
Yeah, for sure. And part of it is just the quality of the product and how how friendly you guys are to deal with and talk to. But I think at least for our community, we're really interested and are curious about the history of game development. So we have a little bit of knowledge there. So we kind of know like, okay, developing things is hard. And and John here is, you're like some kind of crazy engineer person who like makes CAD all day. So I don't even know what your job is, but you're kind of in that world for a different product. But so we kind of understand, like, we're not asking for things tomorrow because we know you guys are going to, when it launches, it's going to be perfect.
And doing things like this really helps. This kind of gets your voice out there to talk to the community, and kind of takes the idea of these things might not make it, and then you're kind of reaffirming that, hey, these things are being looked at, and they'll make it whenever they're ready, but we don't want to put out anything that's half baked or untested. So this is kind of like a reassuring.
Yeah, that was our main rule, let's say, inner rule. We'd rather take our time, and then the end result is something that we feel comfortable showing to the world, because otherwise if we rush things and just for speed's sake, like, oh, let's just throw this out there and we'll see what happens, we feel very uncomfortable. Like even while working on that thing, since that's gonna be the approach, you automatically, I don't know, what's that expression in English? That phrase, like you shoot yourself in the foot, something like that.
Nailed it.
Yeah. That's how it feels, and then you're kind of a little bit demotivated along the way. But if I'm just gonna keep going at it until I'm sure it's something that people will be happy to use. Yeah. And regarding, how we choose the features that go out, we try to estimate, what is going to have the biggest impact on the largest amount of people. So, for example, you asked about games like Yoshi's Topsy-Turvy and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we haven't had many requests for them, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, not that many. I mean, out of...
I guess I'm just in a weird. I'm in a weird space because when I first saw the product, it must just be me, because when I first saw the product, I was like, okay, can I pick it up and move it so like the gyro works for WarioWare? Maybe that's just me and John, me and Seth were the only ones who thought that.
There were I think, maybe 2 or 3 other people in this past year and a half that asked us. They emailed our support like, "Are you gonna add support for that?" But I'm not sure if it could be done with our device directly, or maybe like a modern controller that has a special component for this. That would be, I think, more approachable. So obviously when someone emails us and says, "Oh, I think this would be a cool feature," I instantly bring it up to the team. Like, what do you think of it? So basically, anything anyone has thought of has already been discussed. Sure. And this was the conclusion with the gyro controllers, or
that would probably
the gyro-based games.
Yeah. Like if I were to sync some Joy-Con from my Switch with my computer, that would probably work a lot better than my idea of picking up the thing. Like that's just me being an idiot. I don't.
I think you guys are on the right track. I mean, if you can figure out how to make the operator, read the camera software, it's sort of similar. The gyro is built into the cartridge, just like the camera is. So it might be something similar to where you just need to pick up on where that's located.
Yeah, I think it's definitely doable. I mean, it could be made, but right now, since we have limited resources, there's only one main developer, and he does the entire work on both the application, like the software application, and also developing products,
The other thing that's
can't
weird,
drop everything he's doing for us, Dan.
Yeah, let's do it. The other thing that's weird, and this will be the last thing I say about gyro control, is that the gyro control games, the screen rotates.
Okay.
As you turn, right? The screen rotates so your character stays upright. So you'd need a way for the screen to like stay, because I'm not going to pick up my computer and turn it, right? So you need a way for the screen in the computer to like turn while you're doing so you guys have a lot of work ahead of you with that. Hopefully that comes out someday. Some requests are more straightforward. Right. Like we got many more emails about adding a fast forward, like a speed up option, so that was a little bit easier to make, because you hear, okay, I have to add fast forward, and basically 2 minutes later, after thinking about it, you already know how to do it. Like the first step in anything is to kind of figure out how it works, like create a system. But with stuff like the gyro games, it's a bit more difficult. The answer is not so visible, in the first few seconds of thinking about it. Yeah, and there's a few of them. So it would be more like a niche feature, I would say, like on the edge of things, which is why it hasn't been prioritized yet. Yeah. If it ever launches, you can think in your head, you'll see Dan over here like, yay! Just a little Dan emoji above your head thinking about me.
I can only think of like 3 games that have it. Like there's Kirby, there's Yoshi, and there's Wario, right?
I'm sure there's 1 or 2. Oh, what about like pinball games? Did any of the pinball games?
I don't think they use gyro.
It's probably
Pokemon
just
Pinball doesn't.
They're Rumble. That's what those are.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
The larger packs.
Those are all 3 of those games are great games. I'm just saying.
I know. And most people, they have these games that are maybe not so common, but they grew up with them. Mm-hmm. So of course, Dan, you want support for your favorite games, and then someone else comes and wants support for their favorite games, and then someone else. So we kind of, it's a balancing act, between what we can realistically do in the 24 hours that we have, and then what everyone requests and everyone needs. So at one point, maybe it seemed like we decided for ourselves what the main feature from an update is going to be, even though everyone else was saying, oh, please do this. But we kind of have to make those decisions as well.
Yeah, compile everything and Pareto it out and figure out what the highest need is, and based on how much time it takes.
Exactly. And it helps that, our entire team is, first of all, before working on Epilogue, everyone had the retro gaming gene, so to speak.
Yes.
So when we create products or any features, first of all, we approach it from the perspective of someone that wants it for themselves. On our team, there's someone who also grew up in Australia during the 90s craze, early 2000s. And he started his retro gaming journey there. So he's also the one that gives most feedback, like, oh, I want this to be like this. Mm-hmm. When the developer is working, my colleague just goes next to the desk and is like, oh, I think this would be better, for someone that plays a lot. Maybe let's make it more comfortable. I think all of us love it. I mean, it's almost unheard of to have a retro gaming startup in a country like ours,
Yeah. I want to work there. I'm like, do you need,
I'll keep it in mind. Yeah. I'm also in charge of hiring. So
okay, great. Awesome. We're talking to the right person. Yeah. I'm a videographer by trade. So if you need video content, you know where to go.
We've actually thought
I'll fly
about
to Romania.
it.
I'll fly out. Yeah. First of all, thank you for putting a USB-C on this thing. That alone just took it from like a 9 to a 10, like in my mind. But let's talk a little bit about. So I think on the website it says that there's a Super Nintendo operator in the works. That's kind of the next project. Did I read that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool.
When we started out, we didn't want to be like just have one product and then be done. So we thought of creating a series of operators, basically because, maybe not everyone has a Game Boy collection. Maybe people have SNES games or NES or, any other console. So we thought, let's just make a line of products and then people can choose the one they need for their own collection. So, the SNES version will be the next one. We've already been working on it more consistently since the beginning of this year. So the first year we launched back in January 2021. So that was the first time we made the public announcement and started accepting pre-orders. And the first year was just like an explosion for us. It was way beyond what we expected. And we had to figure out a lot of things along the way. In addition to obviously putting out major updates and figuring out suppliers, assembly, everything. So the first part of Epilogue is a bit of a blur, but now things are settled down. Yeah. And we can actually focus on our next products full time, so to speak. I mean, there's going to be this next update, as I said, version 0.9. And then we're probably going to have a few smaller updates and just start focusing on the SNES. We have been working on it for a while and reached one of the major milestones of creating a product like this is getting the device to interact with the app and transfer information between the two. So with the SNES version, actually now we have, we have successfully made it transfer saves and games to the computer and back.
Awesome.
So like back and forth. Yeah.
Awesome.
Which is, when you start working on something like this, it's always a bit of a stress. Like, is it going to work? Am I going to make it work? Yeah. And our developer managed this part especially.
That's so great. Super Nintendo is going to be huge. I mean, that console is like widely considered just one of the best consoles of all time. Tons of RPGs with battery saves that are going to die. Like that's such a great choice for a second.
Yep.
For like a part 2 for Epilogue.
Yeah, we already have the prototype of the device. I'm not sure, we shared a long time ago, like a short video on our Instagram. Not sure if you saw it, but we have a working prototype, and it's going to be integrated in the same app. So you're not going to have to download anything else. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask, if it was just going to have like its own tab in there where you, similar to like photos or whatever.
You'll have, I think, the device settings menu where you can switch between devices. And our vision was something like, if there is someone who has multiple operators, he can keep them all connected at the same time and just from the app seamlessly switch between devices. So you have like the operator for SNES, for NES, for GB, for Game Boy, with games already inserted. Because you also use it as a stand for your game. And then you just open the app and select the one you want to play at any given moment.
Stupid question. Can I put a Super Game Boy into the Super Nintendo operator and play a Game Boy on my Super?
We haven't tried it yet. We're not at that point, but
come on, that's like the second thing you do. Like
that's Inception right there.
Yeah, Game Boyception.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could be done. I'll actually ask my colleague to try it.
Dan said, "Try it."
Yeah. I'll tell them.
That's crazy. That's bananas. So I don't know what your like your secret roadmap looks like for what other consoles you're considering, but can you talk at all about what's on the table as far as after the Super Nintendo?
Yeah, so the next one would be a version for NES, where we already started work. So we have, for example, the electronic side of things kind of working. And I think the problem there would be a little bit with emulation. From what I gather, NES emulation has, it's a little bit tricky. But after that, we basically want to continue the line with any retro consoles you can think of. Yeah. As long as people are interested in the device, we're going to make, I don't know, someone mentioned maybe Game Gear. A lot of people also mentioned for DS or 3DS, if we could make an operator for that console as well. I think it's very often asked of us, it's requested. But
DS and 3DS seems like such a playing. That's such a touch screen heavy. Hurts my head. I don't even know how you guys would start that one. But the obvious cartridge stuff like Sega Genesis or Mega Drive and other portables like Game Gear wouldn't be a bad idea too. But what about like disc stuff? That gets kind of hairy, but I know it's been done. But
we haven't really thought about it. Yeah, I think we'd love to make something like that. I don't know. The sky is the limit.
Yeah. I mean, and save files aren't really an issue there either. So it's kind of like, I can see that being like,
because you don't save anything to the disk. Everything's memory card by then. Yeah. So
N64, exactly. So N64 is really high on the list of operators, upcoming
N64
operators.
Is my baby. I love the N64. So,
but probably also one of the most difficult to emulate as well.
Maybe, yeah.
I think it can be done for sure, but for us, we're just starting with the Game Boy version, SNES, NES, N64. And then we'll see what's requested and also what we can make as well, because maybe we'll move on to the next level of modern consoles, like modern reinterpretations of retro consoles, whatever that means, because we don't want to have only the operators necessarily, but maybe develop products alongside them as well. So, for example, we actually wanted to create our own line of rewritable cartridges or controllers or,
that would be awesome.
Yeah. But so far, as I said, we had to focus on the GB operators. So we haven't had time to have the rest materialize in any way, any significant way, except for the SNES operator.
Yeah.
As I said, that version is already far along. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we can't wait to check that one out.
Yeah, and it sounds like you guys just, I mean, you've impressed our community with the quality, and I could see myself buying anything you guys make, honestly. Like, it's so impressive.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah. We have just a couple questions that our community members threw out, and some of them were already answered, so I'll skip those. But one of the questions is, where do the descriptions of the games that pop up, where do those come from? Did you guys write those?
No, we don't necessarily write them, but we do keep our internal database. So one of my colleagues is in charge of that. So, he gets descriptions of games from the internet and stuff, because we don't have all games ever made in our personal collection. Right. If I had them and with the original box and description and artwork, I would just scan everything all day. And but we kind of, there are two information sources, so to speak, for our database. First of all, the internet, what other people have shared regarding descriptions. For example, like the classic games, the Super Mario series, Pokemon series, those descriptions have been online for such a long time, and we just integrate them into
are they all back of the box descriptions?
As much as possible.
Okay.
I mean, of course, for some games, we don't really have any way of verifying what the back of the box said, but as we try to keep them as original as possible, as close to the original. Yeah. And then the second source of information actually comes from the community. I don't know if you guys knew this, but if someone connects a game in our app and it doesn't have any artwork or description, there's a link where you can contact support and provide us with that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever put a game in that didn't have it.
Yeah. I don't have very many obscure games, so but that's awesome. Like, because I mean, you guys can't possibly test every single game, so
exactly. So, for example, for region-specific games such as, let's say, Pokemon in Spanish or in German or in French, we don't have access to those games or the descriptions. So, actual users, they put their Pokemon Yellow in the device, in the operator, and it shows up as not. It doesn't have the information. So they email us and they say, okay, this is the title, this is the description, here is a photo of the artwork. If you could add this, and then, we add it in a future update. And then when they connect the same game, it's going to be recognized and have the information in Spanish, in German, in Dutch, Yeah, so actually a lot of the database was improved with the help of our users.
That's great.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. I mean, it's a way to take some of the workload off your description guy and involve the community at the same time.
Yeah, we were very surprised. I mean, we didn't think anyone would take time out of their day to contribute, to the database. But I guess people really enjoy connecting the cartridge and having the information pop up and the correct information. Because, for example, someone emailed us like, oh, I connect the US version, the US revision, and it shows the artwork or the title for the European one. Can you please fix it? And then my colleague goes into the database, he fixes everything, and voila. After the next update, the information is correct.
Love it.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the community has been actually incredibly open and helpful. Besides sending us the descriptions and everything, they also send us feedback, suggestions, requests, anything. I mean, it's really helped us a lot to kind of tune into what people want, I guess.
Yeah, and I have that experience as well, where the retro gaming community is a lot more open, a lot less toxic than some of the other fandoms out there. Probably because we're all just, we like what we like, and we're having a good time, and we have our rose-colored goggles from the past on, and there's not a lot of room to like hate anything, really. I think the only I'm trying to think of like, I used the Game Boy operator. John, you have one, and we used it. The only like complaint that I would say would be the brightness of the LED.
I know. So ever since the beginning, whenever someone shared their opinion on the GB operator, everyone mentioned, "Oh, the LED is so bright."
I know.
But this was already solved, I think, maybe 2 updates ago. Or anyway, you now have the option. Have you downloaded the latest version of the app? Because there's somewhere like device settings. And then you go to LED, and there are 2 options. First of all, to set the brightness, and second of all, you have you can choose how the LED shows up. So it can be static, which means it's permanently turned on. You can select dark, so it's turned off, so you don't have an LED at all. Or pulsing. It can also pulse. I think strobe. I think it's called strobe in the app. Yeah, so you have these 3 options for the LED display, and then you can also set the brightness. Yeah. It's been fixed for a while now, because we just got tired of everyone saying, "Oh my God, the LED is so bright." Someone said they play late at night, and it feels like, when they turn on the operator, it's like a flashbang entered the room, or like an airplane is taking off or something. So we will listen to that.
And it just goes to show for this to be your first product and that much of a nitpicky thing be the only real complaint I can think of, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's how we console ourselves at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If the biggest problem is the LED, then we're doing okay,
Yeah, you're not going to have nightmares about the LED light.
Yeah, but that was fixed. And actually, my colleague wanted to go above and beyond with the LED. So basically, people would just say, "Oh, we just want to turn the brightness down or turn it off completely." And he developed a system, but it's not in the official app yet, where you can customize the colors. There's on our subreddit, there's a video he posted a while ago where he had the LED on his unit was flashing red and blue like a police siren, So there's also this option, but we haven't made it available to the public yet.
That's cool.
But you can change the colors for example, if the LED is green or red when downloading a save or a game or writing one, you can just customize those colors. You can make it pink, you can make it whatever color you want, or just turn it off completely.
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, then awesome. I redact my complaint, I guess. You guys already fixed it.
Yeah, it's been taken into account many, many times. Yeah. So now we can say it's
awesome.
It's been fixed. Yeah.
Okay. So Ozana, what are some of your favorite video games?
Yeah, there we go.
Well, I guess for me, it's a little bit different. As I said, I was already a young adult when I discovered retro games. So I was already working. I don't have a lot of time. My favorite games are more story-based, like the Pokemon series. Mm-hmm. And then either that or very, very simple games. For example, my favorite one, even though I've never heard anyone say this, but Pokemon Pinball. I love it. In the early 2000s, when we got our first computer with Windows, do you remember Windows had the pinball game?
Yeah.
The old one? Yeah, so that was basically my version of video gaming when I was little, just playing pinball for hours on end. So, of course, now when I discovered the Pokemon Pinball, that's the one I gravitate to the most.
Love it.
Yeah, but the Pokemon series, any game really. The Pokemon Yellow one was my first retro game, I guess. As I said, it was my colleague's favorite growing up. So that was the first one he wanted to show me, of course.
Yeah, I'm a huge Pokemon fan, so that warms my heart to hear. I'm glad you got into it.
I was very happy.
Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Togepi. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's the name in English as well, but that's the one I know it as, Togepi. Mm-hmm. And the little eggshell and that one, and maybe Psyduck. And Jigglypuff. I think Jigglypuff has to be my absolute favorite. I think it's hilarious. Like Jigglypuff as a character, she sings and then falls asleep and she's angry about it. I don't know. I just relate to it a lot. It's so fun. Yeah. And sometimes I reflect on this, because as a child, you find out about these characters and the world, the universe they live in. And I think it's a bit more magical and nostalgic, You kind of interact with it in a different way than I did as an adult, let's say, But it's still fun. And I just hope that more and more people get into it. It's not some retro games or video games in general. It's not just something for small children, That's a stereotype. I think people of any age can enjoy it. And that's what we hope to do with the GB operator, or our products. For me, it was a bit more difficult. For me, it was a bit more difficult to get into retro games, on the old console, because as I said, prices are already pretty high. So, buying consoles, buying games, it was a bit unattainable. So when we developed the GB operator, I was very, very excited of the idea. Maybe someone else is in my situation as well. And this way they can actually, revisit their old games.
Awesome. Well, I can't think of a better way to wrap up our little talk here. We're Rabid fans already, so we don't have to say that again. But anybody listening out there who isn't aware of Epilogue or the Game Boy Operator, why don't you tell them where they can find it or buy it, if you have any in stock, and any other information you want them to know about Epilogue or you or the Game Boy Operator.
Thank you. First of all, the stock luckily is not an issue anymore. So basically when we launched in 2021, I don't know if you know about the semiconductor shortage, like global crisis.
Oh, yes.
Where prices hiked up a few %. Like for the components we use on our device, it was just shocking. But since June this year, we actually managed to create stock. So now it's available on our website. You can place an order with us directly. The website is epilogue.co. And basically we have units in our warehouse in the US and Romania, ready to go out the next day. For US, we actually offer second-day delivery, like 2-day delivery. And for continental Europe as well, it can be there in 2 days, depending on the shipping option you choose. So stock is not an issue. Shipping is not an issue, luckily.
They're $49.99 in the US.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you also pay for shipping on top of that.
Okay.
And for example, if you live in the European Union, there are going to be no import taxes because we send from our warehouse in Romania, which is within the EU, and for the US and Canada as well. And since the price point is so low, we actually fly under the threshold for import taxes in many countries.
Cool.
So basically, you just pay for the device, you pay for shipping, and most of the times that's it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And people ask us where we ship from, but yeah, we have a warehouse in the US and then one in Europe as well.
We're walking, talking commercials for your product. So if they're not sold already, I don't know. Go buy some.
I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. For
sure.
We're good. We're good. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Ozana, for joining us. We'll have to have you back when the Super Nintendo launches. We have to.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
We're friends.
Yeah, of course. I would love to.
Next up, we have our community couch, and then we're going to see you guys out. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys in a second. Back, and Ozana is gone. We only made her sit through the actual interview. We didn't make her play any of the weird games or go through our, podcast entirely, because that's kind of rude to our guests to do that. But we got some crazy cool news about what's coming up with Epilogue. When she said controller, I got hype. I was like, oh my gosh, I would spend so much money on an Epilogue controller. It's not even funny. To play stuff on my PC. Awesome.
Yeah.
What
Hopefully,
what was one of your highlights, John?
Oh, just to hear that they're wanting to just turn the operator into this huge line. They want it. She said, "Sky's the limit." We can get, depending on how much time it takes, or what the future holds. How much the operator line performs. We can get whatever we want. But they're willing to look at whatever the community is asking for, which is just something that's nice to hear from on the corporate side of things, that they're so in tune to listening to their just the people that buy their products, so that
they're super
know what to look
focused
for as far as fixes and things like that with the software, and even just as simple as going in and creating a fix for the LED light on the console itself.
Like, seriously. Man, I want an N64 operator like so bad. Like yesterday, I want that. That'd be awesome.
And hopefully she answered all the community questions that you guys had, and she definitely said that the community questions are open, and if we had any more, that she would gladly answer what she can.
Yeah, or even requests or feature ideas. She seems like super open to all that. So please reach out to us and we'll forward it along. I think they have a Twitter as well where they answer questions and stuff, and they're pretty good.
They have a Twitter or Reddit. They have the support page on their webpage that you can go through as well.
Yeah. So, that was great. And if you don't own a Game Boy operator and you own any Game Boy games, it's highly recommended. It's a great little product.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely worth it.
We are skipping Danverse tonight, and we don't have any community questions because it's just me and John, and Danverse is more fun with more people. And all the community questions went to Ozana. So, John, I think we're just going to wrap it up.
Let's do it.
Put a nice bow on it. Yeah. I can't stand being on the show without Sam any longer. I've reached that point. Anyway, thanks for listening to the RetroLogic podcast. We are proudly part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. If you like what you hear, check me out on Twitter at Instagram. It is midnight, people. This is what happens. Check me out on Twitter at RetroLogic Games. You're also welcome to jump into our friendly and 100% non-toxic Discord community. The link to that is in my Twitter bio, as well as at retrologic.games, which is our awesome website where you can get all the things, the Discord link, our podcasts, so much stuff, just all the things. Just go there. The blog that Sam pours his heart out into, go check it out. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks with a fresh RetroLogic episode. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
There's no one else to talk to. It's just you and me. It's like the good old days.
That's right. First couple.
Old launch days. Just Dan and John talking about games.
Before the mole.
Before the mole. Before the dark times. Before the end. Before COVID. All right, you ready? I know, I'm so sleepy.
Let's do it.